Hey everyone, here are 10 superhero TV shows you should watch. Number 10, Smallville. This one follows the origin of Superman in a small town called Smallville. This show had a very interesting take on the origins of Superman. I'm sure we've all seen origin stories of Superman, but this one is a much more detailed, much more fleshed out story of Superman. And the fact that this show ran for a lot of seasons just gave the showrunners much more room to be able to tell a much more detailed and much more fleshed out story of Superman in his early teenage life. This show offers a captivating blend of superhero intrigue and character development, alongside compelling narratives and a balance of drama and action. If you're a fan of Superman and you've not seen Smallville, my guy, you have to check it out. I'm sure you're going to love it. Number 9, Gen V. This one is a spin-off show of The Boys, and it follows the story of some superpowered students in a school for superheroes. Because this show is a spin-off of The Boys, it expands on the world of The Boys. Some things that we know about from the world of The Boys, this show expands on them, and it makes the world of The Boys a very big and much more interesting universe. We see some cameos in this show, but those cameos don't feel out of place. They don't feel like they're cameos for cameo's sake. They're cameos that actually make sense to the story and further the plot of this story. And speaking of the plot is very captivating and it hooks you. And the characters in this show are very intriguing, complex characters, and the performances all around was impressive. This show also delivers on the blood and gore and the craziness and violence that we've come to love in The Boys. This show delivers it and more. If you're a fan of The Boys and you have not seen this show, my guy, in fact, I don't follow you talk again. They go, oh yeah, sit down. I pardon you. Go and watch Gen V and come back and thank me. Number 8, Loki. This one follows the story of the god of mischief, Loki. This show explores Loki in a very complex and intriguing way. The plot of this series is very entertaining and very exciting, and sometimes they have some incredible plot twists. And this show introduces new characters to the MCU and makes the MCU an even larger world than it already is. And speaking of the characters are very complex characters with good character development. Where this character starts from in season 1 and where they end in season 2, that is what you call character development. The development of these characters are done very well. The story is very intriguing and it catches you off guard sometimes. The performances from everyone, especially from Tommy Hiddleston, were incredible. Everything that came together to work for this show worked brilliantly. And if you've not seen Loki and you're a fan of Marvel, my guy, are you really a fan of Marvel if you have not seen Loki? Answer that question by yourself. Number 7, Peacemaker. This one follows the story of the titular character Peacemaker, a character that I first found out about in the Suicide Squad, and he got his own show, and this show was fantastic. John Cena plays the role of Peacemaker, and his performance in this film just makes the character such an endearing character and makes this film a generally brilliant film. This show offers a fresh perspective on lesser known comic book characters. I'm sure we're all tired of seeing the same heroes that we know over and over and over again, but this show gives us a new comic book character that we didn't know anything about and just makes it a much more interesting and unique watch. The show blends humor and action skillfully, and the way it explores the titular character, Peacemaker, was done in a very interesting and intriguing way. The storytelling was also very good, and everything that came together to work with this show, the actors, the storytelling, the cinematography, the dialogue, everything works so well with this show. And if you've not seen Peacemaker, even if you don't like DC, check this one out. You will love it. Number 6, let me see if you can guess this one. Mr. President, you have failed this city. Can you guess it? Number 6, Arrow. This one is a show that was very popular at some point in time in Nigeria. I had a lot of friends that watched Arrow and loved it. I also loved it when I watched it. This show was a very interesting story and had a very fresh and interesting take on the vigilante storyline. The storytelling was very compelling. The characters in this show were well-developed characters that added so much depth to the storytelling. The action sequences were well choreographed and the performances were fantastic. If you're a Nigerian and you've not seen Arrow, you have failed this city. Go and watch Arrow if you've not seen it. You'll thank me. Number 5, The Umbrella Academy. When so many women all over the world suddenly get pregnant and give birth on the same day, a wealthy man adopts 7 of them and decides to train them to become a superhero team. The premise of this film was very unique and interesting premise. It's something I've not heard before. Imagine people all over the world giving birth all at the same time without any signs of pregnancy before. It was something that was very intriguing and it was something that immediately hooked me to watch this show. And when I watched it, I was delightfully impressed. The plot lines were engaging, the characters were diverse and complex, the family drama was captivating, the performances were incredible. Everything that came together to work for this show worked brilliantly. And if you've not seen Umbrella Academy, my nigga, you have to watch it. I am sure you will definitely love it. Number 4, Watchmen. This one is a sequel to the film that came out at some point in time, The Watchmen. And this show just expands on the story of The Watchmen. This show had a very innovative and thought-provoking story. It explores themes of power, racism, and vigilantism. The characters were very, very compelling, interesting characters. The cinematography in this film was incredible. The story was engaging and it keeps you guessing. And the twists in this film were amazing. When you start watching this show, from the beginning you are hooked, and this show does not even let you go until the very end, and you just keep guessing and wondering whatever is going on or what is going on and what is happening. This show was a very intriguing and entertaining show. The performances were fantastic. Watch this show, I am sure you will love it. Number 3, Invincible. Of all the shows on this list, this one is the only one that is animated, but this show is definitely not the least by any means. It follows the story of a young boy who becomes a superhero with a father that is living a kind of double life. That's how I'm going to put it. And this show was a very, very compelling story. The characters were well developed. The voice performances were always on point. The actors that played these voices did a fantastic job. And this show had some moments that were very, very intense and shocking. You watch this film, and when you see those moments, you'll be like, what? What the fuck am I watching? It blows your mind. I know it blew my mind to see some graphic moments that I saw in this show. It was so unpredictable, but so worth it. And the show just offers a fresh and mature take on the superhero genre. Things I never ever thought you'd see in superhero shows or films, you see it in this film, and it will blow your mind. And I'm sure you will love it. If you're a fan of animation and you have not watched Invincible, why the fuck haven't you watched Invincible? Stand up now, go and watch Invincible, and come back and watch this video. You're welcome. Number 2, Daredevil. This one follows the story of a blind man that serves as a vigilante. I'm sure a lot of people would have heard of Daredevil or have heard of this premise before. But man, because you have heard of it before does not mean this show does not deliver on some great things. This show delivers. It works brilliantly. The storytelling was compelling. The characters were complex and well developed. The villains were well developed villains. You don't get that every time. But when you see villains that are well developed, it just makes you appreciate the show so much more. And the villains in this show were well developed. The fight sequences in this show were gritty and so impressive. And there are some great one take fight sequences in this show. If you know me, you know how much I love one take sequences. And when I saw one take fight sequences in this show, it blew my mind. This show works so well. The fight sequences, the villains, the storytelling, everything, the music, man, everything works with this show. If you've not watched it, I am sure you are going to love it. 1000% you are going to love it. Number 1, The Boys. It could only be The Boys. The Boys follows the story of some superheroes that are, it's not superheroes basically. They are superheroes, but man, they are so far from being heroes. This show makes you think about how superheroes are going to be in a real world. Imagine we having superheroes in this real world. The way they are portrayed in the show, that's how they are going to be. They'll be very, very selfish and won't care about anybody. And that is how people are generally, and that's how superheroes would be if they exist in this world. This show is very graphic, very violent, very crazy, man. The crazy things that I've seen in this show, I never believed I was going to ever see them on TV. There's some crazy, deranged, deranged scenes in this show. It doesn't make it a lesser show, it just makes the show much more impressive and much more fantastic. The story is engaging, the characters are complex, realistic characters. The twists in this show are so unexpected. The level of violence in this show is out of this world. And this show also employs some dark comedy that just makes everything just come together brilliantly. You've not watched The Boys. You've not watched The Boys. I don't do this video finish. I don't do it again. I'm kidding. I don't get job. Now my job is this. But you've not watched The Boys. Why the hell have you not watched The Boys? Why? My guy, this is the last one on the list. So immediately you watch this video, straight up, go and watch The Boys. I don't care what you are doing. You have to watch The Boys. I am sure you will love it. So those are 10 superhero TV shows you should watch. What other superhero TV shows do you think should have been on this list? Comment below and let me know. If you watch this video up until this time, like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever. Do it and join me on this train. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Cheers.